Welcome back to Organized Chaos Season 2, Permission Granted. On today's episode on Weigh-In Wednesday, I'm going to start talking and see where this episode goes. Today is Tuesday and I've seen a few angel numbers. I saw 777 on the way to work, and then I saw 555 on the way home. And then I saw another 777 and a 111 and another 555 also on the way home from work. And let's see. Okay, so today I want to weigh in on how so many people say, follow the fun, follow your bliss, follow your joy. And I want to tell a story about the time where I followed my frustration, which now has turned into following that frustration, that turned into following my fun. But if I had not followed my frustration, it would have never turned into fun. Let me explain. Maybe you can relate that first comes frustration, then fun follows. Back when my youngest was 11 months old, she was the flower girl in one of David's brother's wedding, and the boys at the time were 3 and 5 years old, and they were supposed to help her down the aisle as the flower girl, but they ended up being flower boys anyway. It was so cute. Anyway, before the wedding, we had all gone to the mother-in-law's house to get ready, and my husband was in the wedding, and then there was just a bunch of people at the in-laws' house getting ready, but I was super frustrated because there was no space to get ready, like zero space, no counter space, nothing. And it wasn't because there were so many people, it was because there was so much stuff everywhere, like on the counters, on the bathroom counter, like everywhere. And it wasn't because of all the people that brought stuff in. It just, this house was always like that. And it like drove me crazy. So the other sister-in-law was like, hey, do you want to go somewhere else to get ready? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, please take me somewhere else. So then I just remember all of us like meeting, let's say like an hour or two before the wedding for pictures and stuff like that. So we had gotten ready somewhere else and then met up at the wedding. And then later on, the mother-in-law was like, hey, like, why did you leave early? Like, why didn't you, like, get ready all together? Like, that was the plan. And I was like, honestly, there was just no space to get ready. Like, your house is just so cluttered. Like, I can't stand it. Like, I couldn't even think straight. And that just woke up in her. Like, she didn't realize how messy her house was. She kind of understood. My husband is the oldest of 6 boys. So I feel like boys aren't like, I don't know, let's say like aware of all the mess as us females are. And then she just wasn't as aware. And then as the boys were getting older and then there were more like females in the picture, they kind of brought it more to her attention. Like, hey, like you should work on this. Like your house is pretty messy. And then she finally started with my help. She started decluttering her house and really just a whole house makeover. And it was truly just such a huge transformation of how her house shifted. And it was just like honestly amazing just how much support I had given her. And there was this conference that I wanted to go to at the time, this leadership conference, and I didn't have the money for it. And so one of the leaders got on a call with me and it was like, write down all the ways that people make money. And she had set a timer. And I had written down a lot of different things. And then she's like, go back on the list and now cross off all the ways that like you can't make money. So cross off being a doctor and becoming a lawyer. You can't just tomorrow go out and do those things. So I cross those things off and then go back and see what the trend was. And so my trend on my list was cleaning, decluttering, organizing. And she's like, go reach out to 5 people and see if they would like your service. And so I had reached out to my mother-in-law and said, hey, can I come over and declutter with you? And will you pay me? I'm trying to make money for this conference. And she said, absolutely. So I did that a few times and I made money for the conference that I wanted to go to. And I reached out to other people and I realized that it was a gift that I had that I was really able to help people to really walk them through the process of letting go and releasing items and hold space for them in a way that a lot of people just don't hold space for, and help them process that. So now, 11 years later, I've slowly grown this side hustle into a business that is cleaning, decluttering, and organizing because it stemmed from being frustrated about not having space to getting ready for a wedding, and it turned into something fun, and I get to facilitate and help people move through and feel lighter and joyful and more playful. So yes, there's something so powerful about helping people create peace and freedom in their home. Over the years, I've had the honor of helping so many people release physical and emotional weight tied to their belongings, and every experience reminds me that decluttering is never just about stuff. It's about memories, identity, grief, healing, and making space for a new chapter. This week, I worked with a woman in her 70s who's legally blind. Her incredible daughter hired me as a Mother's Day gift to help her get organized. Life has been busy and they just haven't had the time to fully get her settled in. It is what it is, kind of thing. So, over 2 days and about 8 hours total, we worked through her dresser, closet, bookshelves, bags, blankets, shoes, winter bins, purses, and so much more. But what we were really sorting through wasn't just clothing or household items. We were sorting through decades of memories. As she looked at each item, I had the privilege of hearing stories from her life, stories about travel, family, laughter, heartbreak, adventure, and meaningful moments she had carried with her for years. And one thing I've learned is this: clothing is often one of the hardest things for people to let go of. Our clothing hold memories. They've traveled with us through life. They've been with us on airplanes, in hospitals, at celebrations, funerals, vacations, holidays, and ordinary days that somehow become meaningful. They've experienced life with us. In many ways, our clothing become part of our identity, and when someone gifts us something, there's often guilt attached to letting it go. People wonder, what if they notice? What if they are upset? What does it mean if I let this go? There's so much emotional attachment wrapped into our belongings, and part of my work is gently helping people process those emotions without shame. Because many times we're not just decluttering a room, we're processing a lifetime. And that takes a toll on the mind, the body, and the soul. One of the biggest reasons families hire me is because family dynamics can make decluttering emotionally charged. Loved ones may have been saying for years, "You have too much stuff," or "There's no room for all of this," and eventually everyone feels frustrated. That's where I come in. I get to be a neutral party, someone outside of the family dynamic who can lovingly guide the process without judgment or emotional baggage. I can gently ask, "Tell me about this purse. What does this jacket mean to you? Does this item still support your life today?" And together we decide, do we keep it, donate it, regift it, release it? Over and over and over again, item by item. Another reason people hire me is because they feel overwhelmed and simply don't know where to begin. Sometimes people just need someone to walk in with fresh eyes, create a plan, and say, "Okay, let's start here." Because clutter creates stress, it creates frustration, it drains energy. Too much stuff can make everyday life harder. It takes longer to leave the house, longer to find things, and it can create tension between family members. And when you clear the physical clutter, something shifts emotionally too. And one thing I've noticed is that when people are given the opportunity to share the story connected to an item, when they truly feel heard, it often becomes easier to let the item go, almost like the memory has been honored and now the object no longer has to carry it. That's why I believe decluttering is sacred work. It's healing, it's emotional, it's deeply personal, and honestly, it's an art form. I love being able to hold space for people as they release the things that are physically and emotionally weighing them down and create more room for peace, clarity, energy, and flow in their lives. It really is beautiful. And honestly, it's amazing what people uncover when decluttering. Old memories, forgotten treasures, even unopened chocolate hidden away in bags from last Christmas, like we did this past time. If you need support decluttering, downsizing, or organizing your space, I'm here for it. Now, here are the takeaways. 1. Follow the frustration. The spaces that stress you out the most are usually the ones asking for attention. 2. Decluttering is emotional. We're often holding on to memories, not just stuff. So be patient with yourself. 3. You don't have to do it alone. Support and a fresh perspective can make the process so much easier. Ask a friend, a family member, or a professional organizer like me to come help you as you realign your house. 4. Clutter does not define your worth. Your home is not a reflection of your value as a person. 5. Your space can always shift. No matter how overwhelming things feel, change is always possible. 6. Decluttering creates freedom. Letting go of what no longer serves you creates more peace, clarity, and ease. Here are some simple, repeatable mantras for Weigh-In Wednesdays that keep the focus on empowering and transformation. I release what no longer supports my life. Letting go creates space for what I truly need. My space reflects my peace, not my pressure. I choose freedom over clutter. Every item I release makes room for clarity. I am allowed to outgrow things, space, and versions of myself. I trust myself to keep what matters and release what doesn't. My home gets lighter as I do. I don't need more, I need what feels aligned. Decluttering is me choosing ease over overwhelm. Now here are some questions to think about. What items in my home feel heavy or stressful, and why am I keeping them? If my space matched the life I wanted, what would I let go of? What am I keeping out of guilt or fear, and what would freedom look like instead? All right, this wraps up this week's of Weigh-In Wednesday. I hope this episode blesses and encourages you. If you have somewhere in your life that needs decluttering, whether it's your car, your thoughts, your bedroom closet, wherever it might be, and if you're looking for support, please reach out. I would love to hop on a plane and come stay with you for a few days and help you declutter your space. And truly, I just hope this episode encourages you and inspires you. It's something I'm very passionate about. I'm very good at. I love helping people feel lighter, and it truly does free up so much physical and mental space so you can go focus on growing your business or the relationship or whatever else you're trying to grow in this season. So reach out if that's something you're trying and needing extra support with. I'm here for it. Also, check out the show notes, book an energy reading. I can't believe it's almost June. Holy cow. If you're not already, please give this show a follow, give it 5 stars, and leave a kind review. Go ahead and share it with a friend who needs this love and light in their life. And if I don't hear from you, looking forward to talking to you next Monday on our Manifesting Monday episode, and I hope you're doing well. And also, the brick is going really well, and I'm getting really good sleep, and my dream life is absolutely crazy. So if you want better sleep and you want to have more like wild crazy dreams, go get yourself a brick. All right, love you. Talk to you next time. Bye.